Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of Yamaha Warrior. I'm sorry, that would be this bike. Yamaha Raptor 350 rebuild. I guess it's not really a rebuild, but it's get running and partial restore. I'm going to try to make it better than it was when I got it. So it's been a few days since I ended that first video, and I think at this point, what the plan is to take the plastic off, pull the gas tank. I guess I kind of want to see what I have for an engine here. I really don't know. All I did was get it to pop. So what I want to do is I want to pull the plastics, pull the gas tank. I want to do a valve adjustment on it, pull the carb, rebuild the carb, put it back on. I'm not going to run it on the gas in the tank because I got a feeling that gas is bad. But I'll run a temporary gas line, and I just want to see what this engine sounds like. See if it's see if it's worth moving forward, or just washing my hands of it. I guess basically is what I'm trying to say here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the plastics. I'm not going to record that. I'm going to do that now, and I'll come back when it's done. Well, we got it all apart now. Let me go over a few things after my initial inspection on this, so you guys get an idea of what I'm looking at. So I got the carb off. Took the cable off, throttle cable, and the choke. If you can see here, you know, you want to inspect things. You look down inside of here, and you can see that the intake valve looks good. It's nice and clean. I don't see any issues with that. I have it at top dead center at the moment. I'm going to see if you guys can actually see that T. Might be tough. So the T is there. The line is lined up with the notch right there. And if we come around to the other side, you can see that. You can see the piston in there, but the piston is at top dead center. And this scratches on top of the piston. It looks like somebody probably had a screwdriver in there and was trying to find out if the piston was all the way at the top, and they ended up scratching the top of the piston. Hopefully they didn't scratch the bore. Next thing is the valves. So it's at top dead center in valve lash. That seems a little loose. The exhaust valve, let me get my hand in there. That's really loose. So I need to adjust the valves. We'll do that right now. I'll show you guys how to do it. All right, we're set up now, and I plan on doing valve adjustment. So I just want to show you guys something real quick, that what Yamaha did, which is pretty cool. So this is the airbox cover, and if you guys can see that there, I wish all the manufacturers did this. They have this tag on there, and it tells you valve lash specs, what your idle speed should be in neutral, how to, you know, basically to adjust the carburetor at normal operating temperatures. It gives you a spark plug. It gives you a spark plug gap. It tells you what gasoline to use, which motor oil to use, and pretty cool tag. I mean, I wish all quads had it, and it would save you from having to look this stuff up online. But as you can see, the valve lash for the intake valve should be 0.06 to 0.1, and the exhaust should be 0.16 to 0.2. So if we run that down the middle, 6 from 10 is 4, so we'll say 0.08 for intake and 0.18 for exhaust. So I'll show you an easy way to do that. If you don't have metric feeler gauges and you don't have the internet service to Google the conversion. So the simple way to do it is you're going to take 0.08 and you're going to divide it by 25.4. Now 25.4 millimeter is 1 inch, and then you hit equals. So your intake valve lash should be 3/1000 of an inch, and your exhaust, which should be 0.18, which is in the middle, divided by 25.4 equals 7/1000 of valve lash for your exhaust valves. So we got 3/1000 and 7/1000, and that is the easiest way to do it. And I just figured I'd give you guys an idea of some simple math today. Well, now that school's out, I'm going to adjust these valves. Let me grab my feeler gauges and I'll be right back. All right, let's see. I'm curious of what these actually measure out at right now. So I have my feeler gauges. Let's see what the intake valve is right now. All right, 8 thou goes in with drag just the way it's supposed to. So the intake valve is 5/1000 out of spec. Too big. Now let's check the exhaust. The exhaust is supposed to be 7/1000. The 16 went in with drag. So that is 9/1000 out of spec. All right, I got my 10 millimeter wrench, which I loosened the top nut here, so I can use the adjuster. Now I got my 3000 shim in there, and I'm just going to bring this down until I get drag. And you want to do this with the engine cold. Obviously, this engine's pretty cold. I got a little bit of drag there. I'm going to tighten it. Sometimes the adjuster will go down. You tighten up more when you tighten this. All right, let's try it. Okay, that's a little bit loose. Do it again. Okay, I got slight drag in there, which is good. I just want to make sure the 5 thou doesn't go in, because 4 thou is max. It's only a 3 thou variance, and it doesn't go in. That's adjusted properly. Now I'm going to adjust the front to 7 thou, and I got to move the camera, it's in the way, and I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, the valves are all adjusted, and let's put the covers back on. No, get it back in there again. This will just keep any debris or anything from falling inside the engine. I don't like leaving the engine open. I'm just going to finger tight these. Alright, everything's snug. We'll come back and do that after. Come back and put that together after. I'm going to go look at my bucket. I noticed that the engine itself, when I was pulling on it, it's loose inside the frame. I need to get this top motor mount on here. I'm going to look at my bucket of stuff and see if I can find a bolt to go through the head. I'm going to grab the 2 motor mounts and mount them up top. Let me go see if I can find that now. Let's get a better look at it. Oh, there's that threaded rod. And it's perfect for what I need. She should be good to go. All right, let's move over to the bench and tackle rebuilding this carburetor. All right, let's tear into this thing and see what we got. Let me pull this jet out, and as you can see here, this screwdriver, it's not a special screwdriver, but if you look at a regular screwdriver, they widen here. You want one that's straight. See how that's straight? You want one of these when you do carburetor work, so you can get down inside these holes. Look down in there, you can see just how much crud is in there, and that's what's been causing the carburetor problems. If you don't take that out, you're not going to solve your problem. So now we got all that done. I'm going to take my basket of parts. I'm going to submerge it in my fluid. Let it go to the bottom. I'm going to take the carburetor body and I'm going to do the same. I don't really care much about the throttle adjustment part, so if that's not under the water, it's not that big a deal. I just want the body submerged so that the solvents can do their thing. Alright, so I'm going to cover this up now. I'm going to leave this overnight, and we'll go back. I'm going to call it quits for today. Finally, the carb kit came in. So what I'm going to do, I also got some new gas line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the carb together, and then I'm going to go put it back on the bike. I'm not going to do that on camera. You guys saw me disassemble this, so I'm not going to bore you with reassembly. I'm going to do that now, and then I'm going to put it back on the bike, and I'll turn you back on at that point. Alright, carburetor's back on, as you can see. It's all hooked up. Throttle's in. I got the covers all back on. Valve covers are on and tight. The cam gear cover is on and tight. I got the side cover back on and tight. The carburetor's rebuilt. It's on there. It's ready to go. So what I'm going to do right now is I just picked up some new fuel line. I'm going to cut a piece off and put it on the carb and fill the bowl and see if she'll fire. Alright, here's the line. I'm going to use my fancy gas line pliers that I got at Harbor Freight, and these things, I love them. I use them all the time. Well worth the investment if you want to spend the $15 to get them, because nothing at Harbor Freight costs a lot of money, that's for sure. Just makes putting gas line on so much easier. I'm going to fill it with fuel now. And this is, again, I've said it in previous videos, this is True Fuel. And I love using True Fuel when I first start something up after I clean the carb and everything, because I can eliminate the fact that it could be bad gas. And not only that if this sits for a while after I'm done doing this stuff does not go bad. It will not clog the carb. It doesn't have any ethanol in it. As you can see, it's clear. Doesn't even look like gasoline. This stuff is fantastic. You can buy it at Home Depot, anywhere around. Again, they don't pay me to tell you that, but I love this shit. And I'm going to fill this up until this gas line is all the way to the top. And using clear gas line lets me see where the fuel level is going down, so I don't run out of gas if I don't want to run out of gas. Alright, we're up. You can see the fuel level right there. Bring it back quick. You can see that fuel level right there. It doesn't seem to be dropping, it's holding right there. So that tells me that the gas isn't going into the engine right now. It's staying in the bowl. I don't see any leaks, so I think we're in good shape there. keep it running with the airbox off. Well, I'll tell you what, you sure does suck down a lot of fuel. Alright, trying out my new GoPro 7 Black. My Hero Plus keeps acting up, keeps jamming. Jammed up on me last night while I was working on this, and I just got fed up with it, so I put it down. So I got the new Hero 7 Black, and this is the first video with it. So last night, cranking this thing over, the starter stopped engaging. It was rotating, but it wasn't engaging, so I had to take the side cover off. As you can see here, and take a look at what exactly was going on inside, so I could try to figure out why the starter wasn't engaging. Let me put a little light on it, and everything looks good inside of here. I don't see any metal chips or flakes or anything. The starter does engage, it runs, I mean it spins, it does everything it needs to do. There's no issues with that. Everything looks clean in here. So I come over and I look at this, I look at the flywheel, and you can see that these Allen head, not Allen heads, these Phillips head screws have damage on them. They were hitting the flywheel. I'm kind of glad I took this apart because it's missing a piece of gasket. The previous owner went in here and put a new timing chain on it, and I should have pulled this apart and double checked it just to make sure everything was done right. Clearly something wasn't done right, and I'm trying to figure out what it was, because those screws shouldn't be hitting anything. Now I'll take a walk over to the bench, and if you look down in here, you can see where those screws were hitting inside the flywheel, and there's metal chips in there and stuff I need to clean out. So I got to figure out what's missing, if anything, and I'm not really sure if there's a washer missing. I've been going through the Podzilla website trying to figure this out, try to figure out what's missing. And if I flip this over, actually, let me show you a little bit what's going on here. You can see there that edge is all rounded over. Shouldn't be like that. I'm not sure that this was installed properly, and now the metal chips in there were interfering with the spark after they ground into that. And if you flip this over, the starter clutch, I don't know if you can see it, put a little light on there, I don't want to blur you out. You can see that they're rounded over in some spots pretty good. See them? They're not supposed to be rounded over like that. So I think this was put together wrong, or this wasn't engaged properly. When it's inside, it spins one way and it doesn't spin the other way. That's how it grabs. I think that this might have been on top of those when it was installed. I'm not sure. It looks like all the parts are here. I don't think it's missing anything, but I'm gonna do a little bit more investigating, see what I can come up with. So that's where I'm at right now with this thing. I gotta figure out what's going on with this stator rubbing, because that's my problem with spark. That's why it's backfiring. The timing's right. I did the timing like 3 times, so I know the timing is right. And anyway, that's where I'm at. And let me do some more investigating and figure out if I'm missing a washer, and if so, order it. But let me look some more. I'll be back when I figure it out. All right, we're back. I got everything back in. Get the starter gear in. Put the flywheel back in. I put the gear on the back side. There was a lot of damage in there. And I don't know if you can see up inside of here. Up in there. Maybe I'll get a little bit of the light away. It looks to me like this bike might have thrown the chain at one time. I was told that the chain was making noise and that it didn't stop running or anything. And then they put a new timing chain in, but the way it looks to me and the damage that was on the back of the gear, the engagement gear for the starter, it looks to me like it thrown a chain because there's nothing else that could hit that gear, and it had damage on it. So I had to stone it all and get all the burrs off. I did the same thing on this. Stoned everything, cleaned it up, put it back in. I put torque on that, so the flywheel is now stuck on the taper. I did that because I think what happened before was they slid the flywheel on and then they tried to put the stator on and the magnets pulled it forward. It didn't seat properly and it ended up running into that until it eventually sat. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm gonna put this back together. Yeah, she revved out because she got really lean because it ran out of gas. It's tough to get the idle set. Revving out, but I'll kill the engine. All right, there you have it. She's running.